How's it going, guys? My name is Zenith. My friend is trying to buy this bike and I'm currently on the test ride for it to make sure it's a-okay. It's his first bike. He's never ridden before. So obviously I figured it wouldn't be ideal if he did the test ride because he can't really ride. So that's what I'm here for today. And it's pretty clean. It's a Ninja 400. I believe it's 10,000 miles. Is that what it says? So I wish this car wasn't here so I could bang all the gears, but everything feels fine. Yoshimura exhaust on it. Handlebars looking good. Nothing's swiveling or wiggling at all, which is always a good thing. Let me go ahead and see if we do the deal. If we do the deal, I'll give you guys an in-depth run on just some things you should probably look for if you're planning to buy a bike such as the Ninja 400, because this is a great beginner bike. Very fun. No problems at all. All right, we finalized the deal. Kawasaki Ninja 400 KRT edition. I believe it's a 2018. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and ride this thing back home or to wherever we're gonna store this thing at. But it's actually beautiful. I love this colorway. They look so good. It looks so good. You get a thumbnail picture. There we go. Boom. It looks beautiful. It looks so beautiful. Yeah, it's really clean. I think it's got just under 10,000 miles on the bike, which is pretty decent, not gonna lie. Not the worst in the world. It could be better, but I think ended up paying $4,500 for it. So yeah, sure. So yeah, this thing looks beautiful so far. Let's go ahead and see how it runs whenever we're on the road and the highway and all that stuff. But I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys, might as well, some things you should look for whenever you're buying a motorcycle. I personally have bought my fair share of motorcycles, so I'm very familiar with motorcycles and in the buying process. So first thing you want to check is make sure the VIN number on the title matches the VIN number on the bike. So usually the VIN number will be like somewhere around the front fork or something, or I don't know where it's at on this bike, or like on the frame right there maybe. But that's just so you can tell that, like, you know, the bike isn't stolen or the VIN isn't scratched or anything like that. There's nothing sketchy going on there, which is always nice to see and know. And then after that, you know, just make sure it's a clean title, ideally in the other person's name that you're buying it from if you're doing everything correctly. A lot of people don't transfer motorcycles' names into their name because just they want to avoid the taxes and things like that, which is fair, but it can lead to some sketchy processes because then you don't know for sure who you're buying the bike from, which isn't always ideal. Obviously, you kind of want to know that everything was done legally so that you don't have to catch the back end of that later, because at the end of the day, if you buy the bike, you're responsible for everything else that comes with it, including if the bike is actually stolen or if the bike is whatever. So clean title and the other person's name are two good things. When it comes to how the bike was taken care of, that's also kind of fun to look at. You should probably check that out a little bit. So one of the first things I check when I'm like looking at a bike, inspecting it for the inspection process, I'll normally look at the chain. The chain can tell you a lot about a motorcycle as well as its ownership, because the chain needs to be cleaned and lubed regularly, like pretty often, especially on these sport bikes, because just from like regular riding, dirt and grime from the road kind of builds up on it. So if you see a chain that's like rusted and hasn't been cleaned very well, it can usually tell you a few things, such as like the owner maybe didn't take great care of the bike when they had it, as well as it could mean that the bike was sitting outside. So these are just things that might not put you off completely, but just to be aware of. Maybe you can use them as negotiation tactics down the line. If somebody's asking $4,000 for a bike, you'd be like, well, let's do like $3,800 because I need to get a new chain, obviously. You can point things out like that, and usually sellers will kind of come off the price a little bit. For the most part, you just kind of want to sound like you know what you're talking about. You can kind of fake it too, low-key. Nobody's ever going to know. Just pretend like, oh, you know, this sucks or this works. So personally, something I kind of like to do is I like to find at least one thing I can kind of hassle the seller about. So be like, hey, this chain is rusted, or there's a tiny scrape on the fairing right here. You know, just things like that. But apart from that, I mean, it's really just kind of paying attention to details and like really inspecting the bike and scratches and things like that, just to see how much is this bike really worth to you. Because, you know, a scraped up Honda Grom could be worth a lot more to somebody who's planning to rebuild the bike than somebody who wants a clean bike, obviously, right? Everybody's got different preferences, so just look at the bike, think to yourself, what is this worth to me? and then ask the seller, be like, hey, in my opinion, this bike is worth this much to me. What do you think? And then you can kind of negotiate from there. But I think regardless of what you're doing or what you're buying, you should always try to negotiate, because private party selling, for the most part, people are gonna have a little bit of leeway. And even if they say, you know, this is the lowest I'll go, you can kind of get them a little lower, especially if you are pretty smart about your negotiation tactics. But anyways, with that yapping out of the way, let's just go ahead and transition to a regular moto vlog and enjoy this little Ninja 400 with the Yoshimura exhaust on it, which is kind of nice to get that, because obviously the first mod most people do on their bikes is an exhaust anyways, so might as well buy one with one already on there. One less thing for you to worry about. Kind of sketches me out though, because the person we bought this from put tire shine on the tire, and let me tell you guys, if you're cleaning your motorcycle, don't put tire shine on your wheel. Just don't. It's not even worth it. It'll look pretty for 10 seconds, and if it gets on the tread section of the tire, then it can kind of cause you to lose traction a little bit, which is not what you want at all. I'm trying to follow this guy back and I got in front of him so he could hear the exhaust, because he was kind of fiending over it a little bit, which is fair enough. I personally have always been more of a fan of the R3 than the 400. I feel like, I don't know, first of all, the pricing is better, and the 400, though it's 400 cc's instead of 329 cc's or 321 cc's, whatever it is, the difference in power isn't like super noticeable or anything. It's still a beginner bike, so. And plus I like the styling of Yamaha's better. They just look a lot better in my opinion. But I'm not to say this doesn't look good. I really like this. I like the KRT edition on this thing. Very pretty, very pretty. I think it's a good buy. It's a good price for how well it's been taken care of. Like, everything works fine. The gears all hit right. Brakes all work right. It's good stuff. Also super easy to find neutral on this bike. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy that part for sure. And the blinkers all work. Let's go. It's a really windy day out too, which is not the best, not the most ideal. But yeah, this thing is real smooth. A little bit of backfire too. These things also rev quite high. I didn't realize that they rev that high. I don't know what the R3 tops out at, but I'm pretty sure it's less than that. I know my R7 is like around 10,000 range. This one goes up to, what is that, 12? It's hard to see with this tinted visor. I'm afraid to lean because of that tire shine I was talking about before. I'm gonna go around this guy. He's taking a little long. He's eating some snacks. Ooh, it's very smooth shifting. Probably also partially because there's like zero power on this bike, so when you shift, I mean, it's not gonna jump or anything. But I guess that's why it's a good beginner bike. I guess they're doing it right over at Kawasaki. I just feel like a princess when I ride a 400. Like, I feel so upright. And this exhaust isn't super loud either, which is kind of nice. But the goal is to get the guy who bought this bike to the track on May 17th. And he's just now learning how to ride, and I think it'll be fun. I think it's possible. We gotta practice, learn the basics first. He's taking its MSF course pretty soon here too, so that'll be good for him. And then we're just doing a beginner track day, nothing crazy, just the Ride Smart program. But I think it'll be fun. We'll have a little day trip up to Oklahoma, go learn some things out on the track. Also, one of my friends is having a baby soon, and by soon I mean like they're currently at the hospital, so everybody comment WBaby. If this video gets 10 likes, I'll train him to go to MotoGP by the time he's 7. All me. It'll be my full-time job. But I am really excited to go to the track on the 17th of May. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm planning to do this one before summer, and then I want to do at least one more after summer, just depending on how funding goes and all that good stuff. Maybe a couple more, but I'm going to avoid the heat of summer if I can. That's why I'm trying to go in May before it gets too hot, like in June and July in Texas. Even though we'll be in Oklahoma, same thing, it gets hot up there too. And then obviously after summer it'll cool off a little bit and be a little more doable as well. I got good news for you. Neutral's very easy to find. Yep. Oh, I've had my left blinker on since I turned left forever ago. Actually, I didn't even turn left, did I? Dang, that thing must have been on for a minute, but I'll keep it on because I'm going left again. This guy's got blast pipes on his car, and I'm always afraid I'm gonna run into him They're like, them boys protruding a little bit. I smacked my shin on those things so many times, and I don't even own that car. I'll do a little pull up here for you guys so you can see and gauge how fast this bike is. Prepare to be underwhelmed. But let's wait till this turns into a two-way, and then we'll drop a gear and stay right here, as they say. But it feels very nimble. Corners are nice. Let's see. So we're in third gear right now. Let's drop down to second. Full tuck. But obviously it's not very fast. It's a little bit underwhelming, to be honest with you. But it's very smooth. I know I've been saying that like 17 times, but it definitely is very smooth. Cybertruck, I've seen that one everywhere. Let's see how this thing does on the highway. I think that's a good thing to see. Hello, buddy. I think it'll do just fine. Everybody's always worried that, you know, the 400 won't keep up on the highway. It's too slow. Before we even get there, I'll tell you right now, that's not true. It'll keep up just fine, okay? Just like 99% of other bikes. The only kind of bike that won't keep up on the highway is probably a 125, like a Honda Grom. Okay, that will not keep up. Oh, it's definitely, yep, peak rush hour, 6:30. So, never mind, we might not get to test highway speeds. Well, that kind of sucks. I was hoping I could, like, show you guys that the 400 goes 70 miles an hour, but you just have to trust me, okay? But believe me when I say, I like this bike. I do. I think it's a good choice. Here we go. There we go, 70 miles an hour. I got 73 and I still have one more gear to go. That was only in 5th gear at about 8,000 RPMs. Going slightly downhill, slightly. There we go, 6th gear. Almost 80 there. There you go, just to show it's possible, it's true. All right. Well, I'm gonna end it off here. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, please subscribe. It helps me out so much more than you probably realize. And until next time, drop a like for the Ninja 400. Okay, all right, love you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace out.